The madness will continue. We are currently going to be looking at what is now a 17 win streak in Diamond for Season 21 using Floowandereeze. Decklist video is linked in the description. We just, I don't know, keep getting lucky, I guess, but only one loss so far in all of Season 21, and we've just blazed through all of these ranks. In this video, we're going to take a look at the 2 matches from Diamond 2 where we went second and still were able to come out on top because we lost the coin toss, and then the most recent match where we lost the coin toss but the opponent opted for us to go first. So let's go ahead and take a look at those matches now. Alright, so we're starting to lose the coin toss, but that's okay because, you know, we were winning quite a bit of them. It's just unfortunate to start losing them at the higher ranks. We'd rather lose them in the lower ranks and then win them in the higher ranks, but that's beside the point. Can't complain, right? That's how the game goes. The opponent starts off with a Camellia, and they're on Naturia Runic, one of the decks that I think and said in my tier list videos and stuff would be probably one of the top tier decks of the format, and I think it is very, very good. The opponent starts off very strong though. They have double tree to get double Naturia Blessing, which is absolutely crazy. They're gonna get basically full combo here, and look at, they mill 2 runic spells off of Camellia. Bro, are you serious? They milled a tip and a destruction. Okay, sorry for the high pitch there for a second. That was, you know, that's a good mill because they got Fountain, and you know, that's a draw 3. That's a free draw 3. It's part of the reason why Naturia Runic synergizes so well, is because Camellia mills for you. And so, yep, absolutely, you know, the opponent's going to go through the motions here, bring out another Huggin, get Fountain, draw 3. They have a decent board, but, you know, all they have is spell negates. They didn't opt to go for the Naturia Barkion, or they couldn't go for a Baron de Fleur. Happy to see the opponent do draw phase max C. I toggled off quickly when I saw that, so it comes back to me anyways because it's my turn, but I don't want to give any indication that I would want to call by there before it's switching phases. We go straight battle phase, evenly matched, and I have an inkling that the opponent was going to keep the Fountain, of course, so we get rid of the Naturia Beast that way, which is excellent, and the Monster Negate in the Sunflower, so we are looking okay. We're now going to go main phase 2, activate Unexplored Winds, and then normal summon Robina. We've got the grave, a Call by the Grave for the Ash Blossom, and the opponent can't activate Imperm because they have a Fountain up, so we are safe. Only have to worry about Ash, and we got the Call by the Grave for that. So the opponent, man, they put back a destruction and they drew a destruction. Like, okay, sure, they're getting everything they need against us. But one thing that the Book of Eclipse does guard against is the Freezing Curses, which is only a 2 of, but you know, with Fountain they can obviously play it. So the destruction is going to get rid of my Unexplored Winds, and the opponent knows what they're doing here, right? Because if, well, it's like I have the Empen in hand. They destruction me early. They should have waited for the Eaglin, but you know, if they didn't, like, because they did this now, which is technically not correct, or I guess it is correct if you want to guess that I have a tribute monster in my hand. They want to prevent the sending of the Fountain with my Unexplored Winds for the tribute summon. So you know, they prevent that. But then I summon the Eaglin, and then now the way that the chain link resolves is quite interesting here. The opponent is going to opt to Flashing Fire special summon because Flashing Fire is useless against Floowandereeze. So Max C and Flashing Fire, like to see that. Keep those in your hand, thank you very much. And they're going to special summon to the extra monster zone in its place here, and they summon a Jerry, which is interesting. Might have been better off going for a Moonin, I guess, if you play it. Maybe they don't play it. I guess, yeah, they don't normally play Moonin, right? So I guess Jerry's really the only thing, unless you want to go for another Huggin, which you only have 1 left in the deck potentially, or none if you only played 2 because we banished 1 and 1 was used as synchro material, I believe. So yeah, they're in trouble here, bringing out Jerry, and we could go for a Ryza to spin back the Fountain, but the way that the chain links work here is that if I summon the Ryza, I'll go first and choose my targets, and then the opponent gets to go, and then they'll chain Fountain, obviously, and then Fountain will resolve before the Ryza. So therefore, the Ryza is useless in that scenario because even if I target a Runic spell and the Fountain, they'd still resolve all of their effects and draw cards, which we want to prevent. So we go for the Apex here because part of the bird's summon to resolve is the fact that I have to tribute summon. You can see the chain link is still active here in this monster zone. So I bring the Apex to field. Now as a new chain link starts, I'm priority player, so I only choose to bring back the Eaglin, and then the opponent gets their trigger effect in Fountain because they activated a Runic spell. And this is why I brought Apex to field and not Empen, is because I'm going to Apex negate and destroy that Fountain, leaving them with 1 card in hand and a Jerry on field. And right there, they just scoop it up, and that's how we go 14-0. If we go ahead and take a look at this opponent's deck list, oh, they are on 3 and they are on Moonin. Okay, wow, they're playing a very unorthodox package that would have benefited them in that game. But yeah, more or less a standard list here. but thankfully we were able to come out on top. I don't think I've ever played a string of matches where I've seen Robina in rotation, which is absolutely crazy. In this match, we also are going second. So this was when I was on 12 wins. This was my 13th. The last match was the 14th win in a row. The opponent starts off with Kashtira. Kashtira Unicorn. I thought I was going to call it Fenrir. And I'm like, okay, that's easy, Kashtira, right? But nope, they go Tomahawk, and I'm like, oh goodness, is this the Auroradon Tomahawk OTK? Not OTK, but like, you know, Omni Negate crazy board, because we do lose to that, but the opponent goes for some weirdo plays here. They go Yugioh and Crystal Heart, bring back a Link Spider, and I'm like, okay, they're Link climbing to something. They're going for a Heat Soul setup now, and I'm like, okay, this is rather interesting. And then they go for Yugioh with only 2 materials for some reason. I don't know if they're like trying something new, but it's not based on the Link summon, it's based on the number of materials used. So yeah, and they got to be different names, so you can't use all your tokens, right? But yeah, so, you know, this end board looks fairly reasonable. Just double Unicorn and a Yugioh that doesn't do anything, a Birth, and a face down card. We're going to go ahead and Prosperity for 6, of course. And what we're digging for is an evenly matched. This is the going second card. It's why we play it. We did reveal a Duality, which we will take because we're going to continue to try to dig for that evenly. The fact that Pot of Prosperity puts the other 5 to the bottom of the deck makes it more likely that you will draw into it in your next, you know, 30 cards or whatever's left in your deck. And sure enough, we do get the evenly, and then we play it. And the opponent keeping the face down card is a pretty good tell that it's an imperm. And so as they attempt to imperm the Robina, we chain the Advent of Adventure, and, you know, we're going to go full rotation because the opponent does not have Ash. So Eaglin, Empin, Trap card, and then Fossil Diet to prevent any special summons. So we pretty much have game here, but just off the Advent of Adventure, the opponent ends up resigning there, and that was our 13th win in a row, and then the last match was our 14th win in a row. So it's really interesting that this opponent like wasn't going for the Auroradon combo, and yeah, it looks like they're not even on it, but they are playing like the monsters that it climbs into. So interesting. I guess, yeah, they're on a Punk Kashtira variation, so interesting enough. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. 14 wins in a row. I mean, come on guys, I'm working pretty hard for this, even though I'm only playing like 1 match a day. But let me know in the comment section below how you think Floowandereeze is doing this season, if you're playing it, or what else you're playing and how you're doing. Hopefully we hit Master Rank soon, and then the last 2 weeks of the month we can see if we can grind up to Master 1. So I'll see you around. So when I lost this coin toss and my opponent opted for me to go first, I just assumed that they were on like Makonko. I probably should not be making those assumptions though. So I'm going to activate Map, crazy to draw the one of. So again, access to Robina, which is insane, even though we don't hard draw it. And at this point, I don't even fear an Imperm. And obviously I'm chain blocking for Ash because I don't fear Imperm because of Eclipse. So Robina, if this gets Ash, it's fine because we already have the Empin to hand now from the Eaglin being chain blocked before, and we can normal summon the Empin for turn. The opponent has no hand traps, so we're able to go full rotation. We set the Eclipse and we set the Dreaming Town, and we pass turn. We did not activate our Shifter, which is questionable because as soon as main phase 1 hit, the opponent started thinking here for like a good minute, and I'm like, if they start off Kaiju, my Empin, it turns off my Shifter. I think there are some Makonko cards that need to like be in the graveyard banish or something to get the effect. So even if I can slow down the Makonko deck a little bit, I would do that. The opponent attempts to go battle phase and I chain Shifter, and then they go battle phase anyways. And I don't activate my Dreaming Town because I'm assuming that they have Lava Golem, and I don't want to put my Apex Avian on board. So I'm like, nah, you didn't sit there and think for like 120 seconds, 2 minutes almost, just to try to bait out a battle phase, right? So I'm like, I'm not falling for the bluff. And the opponent ends up evenlying me. So I lose everything there. One of Map, one of Trap card, and the Book of Eclipse. The opponent then goes for Engage, and I'm like, are they on Sky Striker or is this like Numeron? Because I know Numeron sometimes plays Widow Anchor and stuff, maybe Mobilize as well, but it's really weird. So I'm like, is this Sky Striker? And if it is Sky Striker, this is good that they're under Shifter because their cards are getting banished, right? So they search for Widow Anchor, most likely set it and pass with 4 cards in hand, and they don't have hand traps. So I'm like, what the heck could they have? We're going to normal summon Eaglin to bait out the Widow Anchor because I want it to be banished while it's under Shifter. I'm totally fine because at this point I'm like, I don't think you're on Lava Golem, but I'm still worried about getting OTK'd if they are not on Sky Striker and are on like Makonko or Numeron. But then they reveal a Bestial, so I'm like, okay, this is very odd. I drew evenly for turn and it's useless, so I just set it as a bluff. The opponent draws and then attempts to crash their Druisworm, and I'm like, I wonder if they're attempting to go evenly again, or clear their board for like Lightning Storm, because obviously this is a going second deck, that's why they made me go first. So just to be safe, because clearly they're having a hard time dealing with Empen, that's why they sat there for 2 minutes in the first turn thinking about what to do. So I'm thinking it might be Sky Striker now, right? Because like Empen beats all the Link monsters for Sky Striker. But anyways, they're going to attempt to Druid's from Crash, and I actually activate the Empen effect of Stree, and the opponent chains the TAI strike, and I didn't even know what this did, but it like equalizes the attack or something. So the way that the chain link resolves is that they get the boosted attack, and then the Empen cuts their attack in half as the chain link resolves, right? So they end up losing like a ton of life points and their monster, but they do indeed have the Lightning Storm. So obviously they drew this for turn, right? Because there's no way they just sat on this when we had Empen on board if they needed to clear the Empen, right? They would have even lead and then Lightning Storm and then played with linkage. So yeah, they're going to linkage, and I'm like, okay, yep, they're going to clear my board. And you know, Floowandereeze actually, while the Empen does counter the Link monsters for Sky Strikers plays a lot of spells, and you know, imperms and stuff potentially. Like they can negate the Empen and stuff like that. Like it's not necessarily a completely losing matchup for them. But yeah, in the end phase, they're going to go ahead and grab Engaged off their Shizuku. And they do have 3 spells in grave now, but there was no point in going for Kagari here, obviously, because their first Engage got banished since it was under Shifter, which is great. But now I draw Snell for turn, and I'm like, if this is face down card isn't anything to worry about, I'm good. It's funny because I don't know what this could have been. Nothing lit up on their field when I summoned the Robina and chain link the Eaglin as my trigger effect. Okay, then I'm gonna summon the Eaglin and chain block with the Stree. Nothing popped up on their field. But then, as soon as I summoned the Stree and targeted the Empen in the grave, their field did light up. And then I summoned the Toucan, and their field lit up. So clearly it's like something to react to a monster effect on the field, I'm guessing. Because when I summoned the Empen here, and then got back the Robina, their field did not light up. So I don't know what that could be. So anyways, we ended up searching the Apex to be 100% safe. And now whatever this is, it doesn't matter, because we'll just negate it, assuming it's not a counter trap that can stop us somehow, because that is spell speed 3. But now at this point, we can just... Okay, we're gonna put back for no reason. Probably draw. Oh, when it doesn't matter, we actually draw a non-bird. Normally we draw another bird off of that, but Empen gonna swing in for game, and just like that, we beat Sky Strikers. It ended up being in the end, and I'm curious to see what their face down card could have been. That would activate only when I play a card. They had a number of cards that could potentially deal with my board, right? Like you can see here, Sky Striker does not lose to Floowandereeze all that often. Like Nibiru, Darkwool, Raigeki, Duster, Change of Heart ×2, Afterburners, double Lightning Storm, double Triple Tactics Talent, because obviously I played during their turn. Widow Anchor ×3, these are like the imperms for them, right? It's just they can't play it during, you know, as a hand trap. So they got a lot of tools to deal with my stuff. But yeah, what could they have set that would, I mean, I don't know what it could have been. Let me know in the comment section below if you know. But that is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. 17 win streak, 2 more wins for master rank. Will we get there? Hopefully. Stay tuned to find out.